Part 2, why the fog? As denizens of the corporate world, what does this fog mean to you? Let's first agree on the validity of the adage that knowledge is power. If we follow that idea, we could state it another way. Ignorance is, no, not bliss. But it is interesting that the proverb exists, isn't it? Ignorance is the fog. It takes away power and agency over one's environment. If you're hungry but ignorant as to how to obtain food, you can't change your circumstances and you remain hungry. If you're in a system and are ignorant to its workings, you cannot affect your circumstances and you remain a fixed part of the system that is imposed upon you. It is very difficult to know the reasons for every specific instance of information hiding, obfuscation, or misrepresentation. However, we can look at the patterns of usage and infer quite a bit about the process and the goals. For instance, if you knew that your company was not quite making enough money to cover its costs, what would you do? What would you do differently if you knew that it was profitable? Would you stay and just kind of soldier on in solidarity with your peers, or would you start to look for greener, safer pastures? While some may choose to stay, no employer may know that each decision will be the same for every employee. And it might be easier just to lie to everyone, just to have a more predictable outcome. Typically, the predictable outcome would be that you would stay and face whatever future will rise to meet you. I mean, that's just one example of why any organization might choose to present false information or simply withhold information. Scan the news and you'll see plenty of examples of employees either singularly or collectively being surprised by some fact about the people that they work for. Facts that would have maybe swayed their behavior and decisions for the sake of their own financial stability. I mean, heck, it doesn't even have to be financially motivated. You can simply just want some peace of mind where some elements of the future are open and visible so that you can make your own decisions rather than being manipulated into a specific one. Remember, this is all about control. In order for the organization's leader to have a predictable outcome, they've got to remove all the elements of uncertainty that they can. It's called hedging your bets. And we've all heard of that. Once you realize that you are a variable that must be controlled, then you can start to navigate your own path and maybe decide how much control you wish to relinquish to the people that are driving the company and how much you're going to retain for yourself. The fog is meant to remove agency. Penetrating that fog will restore that power back to you, allowing you to recognize when you're in a fog and being manipulated by information that has been selectively shared with you in order to motivate your decision making in someone else's best interest.